I am recording. I'm going to share my screen. All right, welcome. This call is going to be super casual, super chill, relax, just interrupt if you have thoughts. But of course, I'm going to do some housekeeping items also. Jordan's on this call, brand new coach this week, and she is slaying the game already. So welcome to the call. All right, so first things first, Success Club check-in. I am at 12. Erin is at 4. One more life away from hitting Success Club. Taylor, Logan, and Kelly are at 2. So far, we have changed 11 lives this month, and it is the 13th. So we are not even halfway through the month, crushing it. You guys, take advantage of the $20 off, which leads me into housekeeping. So, of course, the June monthly promotion is $20 off any challenge pack right now. That's massive. Should be following up with anybody who you invited. Anybody needs a follow-up about this because the second that somebody hears sale, they're like in. Summit, bring it up every time. In 1 month, we will be in Indy at Summit. And if you're not going, you can still get your ticket. You still should go because you're going to have FOMO. I swear you're going to have FOMO. It's going to be the best. We're going to be working out with all the super trainers, having our photo shoot, hanging out all the girl time. So try to get to Summit. If you can't, I know this is a couple bullet points down. The July super weekend is the week after, 2 weeks after, something like that. Bonnie, is it the 20th or the 27th? 27th? Okay, 27. Okay, so Bonnie, I know, is already going to her super weekend. It's an open house style. They've been talking about it. It's also in your coach office in the FAQs. So check that out. If you cannot make it to Summit, you should definitely look at that July super weekend and go. If you don't know what a super weekend is, so Summit is our yearly event. Last year it was in Indy. This year it's back in Indy. Super Weekend is a quarterly event. So it's like mini summits. This one is a different style with an open house. The idea is that you bring a friend and then they can learn about the coaching opportunity at this Super Weekend. Jumping back up, sorry, I'm all over the place today. Coaching info session is happening right now on Instagram. Almost all of you I saw started following that page. So I completely shifted what I was going to do. I was going to run it all on Facebook, and I've run them on Instagram in the past using the same page. And after the Run Wild team call on Tuesday, where she said that she's been having so much success with Instagram, I mean, it's been probably almost 6 months since I've done it on Instagram. I was like, shoot, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go back. And since then, I've gotten like 20 more people added in. It's just, you're meeting the people right where they are on their platform. So if you're not sharing this, share it. Like, I'm sharing our entire team's transformation. I'm walking people through a day in the life very naturally on Instagram stories. Just share it. Like this, I do this for you guys to use. So don't feel like you can't be talking about the page. The page is beautiful, spelled like our team name, Influencers Wanted. If you go and watch my Instagram stories, it's all over there. But talk about it. Just briefly say, if you've ever been interested in what I do as a coach, go follow this page and learn more. That's it. You don't have to make it anything crazy. I mean, you never know what might happen. Morning Meltdown 100, we're going to be talking about that tonight. I know that Erin had some awesome questions that she posted in the team page. I'm so pumped for this program. So pumped. So be keeping up with the trainings. I know that is on my to-do list at some point, maybe next week before we start moving, because there have been a couple trainings that have been posted. And then last week, I posted a homework assignment. It was to watch the volume call. I also added it into the new coach training as like an optional bonus unit. It's an amazing call to understand more of the compensation and how you earn team volume, personal volume, the difference, what your income looks like because of it, what your income looks like from growing a team. it's a great call. And I think if you start at like 7.5 minutes in, you get through like all of her team call stuff to this volume side of it. So if you didn't do that last week, make sure that you do that. And that's it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. And we can talk about morning meltdown if we want to. So super weekend close to us, Erin. I see that you wrote that in the chat. So I haven't checked for super weekend in July because I'm going to Summit. And I don't plan on going unless there's one super close, but I think I might be having a tentative housewarming party that weekend. But there's a map in your office that's posted, and as like events start, you can check to see where. I know that Lexi, she's not on the call right now, she would want to go to one in Michigan, possibly Jordan would want to go to one in Michigan. There's a ton of Michigan girls. So I'll start keeping my eye on the map, but also check in your office. You should be able to look there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go and look at Erin's question. Okay, so could you talk about how it works to recruit for a new program launch? So what Beachbody does is they're going to start to put together some resources, some videos for us. It's up to you if you want to use them. What I'm going to do is, I believe next week or in a week and a half, I think it was June 24th, if I remember the date correctly, I posted about it. We get to do a sample workout. So there's going to be a sample morning meltdown 100. God, that's a mouthful. Workout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start talking about it, and I'm going to start adding it into like my routine. Maybe instead of yoga, I'm going to keep doing this sample workout, and I'm going to keep breadcrumbing it in and telling a little bit about the program. So you have to be knowledgeable about the program to be like breadcrumbing it and talking about it. So you've got to know what to say about the DJ. You've got to know what to say about the length of the workouts. If you need weights, if you don't, all those things, a little bit about the badass trainer and what other programs she's done. So just keep those things in mind, but that's how I'm going to start approaching it. Then with your existing clients, as it starts approaching for them to add on, just like it is for us, to get like the VIP early access for this new program, I'm going to send out an email. And as I start putting that together, like explaining to my clients what this program is, how they can get early access, I will share my email with you. So then you can pass it on to your clients. Is that making all sense so far? Okay, so I'm going back and I'm still reading. So when you get a boot camper, like that VIP early access, you don't get a Success Club point. You just get commission off of it because they're not buying like a full challenge pack off of it. But as more trainings come out, they start talking about all the different package options, the prices, if you already have BOD, and they'll be telling you this is worth 2 Success Club points. This is just worth commission. So those are good videos so that you're kind of familiarizing yourself with packages. And typically what I'll do, especially for existing clients, is I'll put together like some graphics, or I'm like in some higher level up like team pages and they put together graphics for us. And anything that I get as it gets closer, I'm just going to push out to you guys so that you guys can duplicate, share, use with your clients, all that good stuff. I think I kind of answered that. So via Share a Cart, you would do everything via Share a Cart, even if it's an existing client. On Share a Cart, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, on Share a Cart, you can do completion packs if you've seen that. So if it's an existing client, you would still do new enrollment. You would still put all this stuff in. And then you would go to challenge packs. And then I believe that they're like all the way at the end. Like if you scroll through, this might not be a good example because I put in my email address, so it's not registering that I have BOD. But if it were, why isn't this scrolling over? Anyways, there are completion packs, a thing called completion packs, and that is what you would do. It might not be working because it's not registering me, if that makes sense. Any other questions about morning meltdown? Or thoughts on share a cart? Anything that you guys want to know while I'm in share a cart? Hang on, I'm reading a question. Is an existing member orders on their own, or do we get credit, or do we make it clear that we order for them? I always do the order for them. I think that they could technically go in and do it on their own, but it might be confusing. So you'll just do it through share a cart. And we can just FaceTime again like we did before. All right, good on that. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about Canva. Have you guys used or dabbled with Canva much? Raise your hand if yes. Okay, what are your biggest struggles with Canva? You guys can unmute yourself or put it in the chat just so I can kind of gauge where you're at with Canva. Do you feel like you got it down, know what to do? Okay, images are sometimes blurry for your Facebook cover, okay? Anything else? Okay, unmute yourself if you are. So when I go into Canva, I do not use the Facebook cover. It's not the right dimensions. I believe it's a Facebook event cover, these dimensions, and that will make your pictures not blurry. And how I figured this out was I had Mackenzie send me one of her headers because you can like share your graphics with other people. And then, hang on, I can't see. So where is shared with me? Nope. So I just have her share these with me, and then I'll make a copy and then put it in mine, and then I'll start tweaking mine. So any of my designs, I can always make a copy and send them to you. I use Instagram stories. That one's totally fine. The sizing is totally fine for that. I use the social media for just like my normal square posts. I will make a copy and duplicate things. I mean, like all of this, I put together like by hand. Like I didn't use a template like this. I didn't use a template. So like if I were to make something super quick, and I'm sorry if you guys know this, but I'm just going to walk you through it because you might not. Okay. I always try to save my pictures as high quality as I can. And then what I would do is I would just drag this on top, and it immediately wants to be the background. If you do that, you could just click it and it will just place it in there, but it won't be the background. Here is my transparency, so I can make it lighter or darker. I purchased like, they're called like schmears, these schmears, it's a funny word, off of a site called Creative Market. It was like all of these with some fonts. I think it was like $30. So then I will put one of these on top and I'll make it big. And again, you can change the transparency on this. And then I also purchased like some fonts. And then in my elements, what I do is I will just use a frame, not the grids, but the frame. So I'll pop this on here, and then you can say like foodie, and then you can have a picture of food there. Is this helping, making a little bit more sense on how to just kind of like drag and drop things? Any questions so far? Okay, choosing the wrong image size. Okay. All right, I'm stopping sharing. Okay. I don't have a ton of content for you guys today, but so we can just take this over. How are you guys doing with your invites? how is everything going? How many people are you consistently talking to? You can be honest. I know that Bonnie and Lexi, they're in the Diamond Push group. So we have our own private thread going where every day we send each other that consistently that we are doing 15 invites every single day. Just 15. That's our bare minimum is 15. If you can do more than that, that's great. But that's where we are at right now in our business. So that's kind of like our goals right now. And then we're kind of saying how many of those are coaching invites. So every day, some of them have to be coaching invites. So Bonnie, can I put you on the spot? How do you feel that that's been working since we've been doing it for we've been doing it like a week?
I actually like the accountability. I'm glad that we got that from a call. Didn't we get that suggestion? Yeah. Because I am not the most consistent with, I'll send out like a couple invites, but you feel like you do one or two, maybe three, and then you're like, invite's done. That's how I always felt. But it's never enough. We've talked, it's a numbers game. So I like the making sure that I'm doing a certain number and then checking in with you and Lexi has definitely helped. I'm still getting ghosted quite a bit.
Yeah.
That is the biggest issue. But
are you finding that the people who are ghosting you are still watching your stories?
Some of them are people that I've been following, like for coaching stuff right now is what I'm inviting for. And so I went through my list of people that I'm following to look for the girls whose pages I really liked, whose content I really liked, who I thought might work really well for this. And I made this big old list of names of people who I think might work well in this, because I figure, well, out of all of these names, very few of these will probably actually respond to me at the rate I'm going. That's helped. I've only had a few respond, but I have had some of them start following me because I said, hey, I've been watching you. I think I love your page. You're really good at this. Are you interested? They don't necessarily respond to me, but I think I pique their interest, and then they start checking me. They don't necessarily follow me, but they start looking at like my stories and stuff.
That's perfect because again, you're just planting the seed.
Yeah.
You're not gathering the fruit. You're not cutting down the tree. You're just planting the seed. That's awesome.
Yeah. And one girl in particular, I came across her in, the rabbit hole, and I started following her. And then I started, commenting and liking stuff. I was really not into the whole like commenting on people's things because I'm like, they don't know me. Like I'm going to look like a stupid. But let me tell you what, it makes a huge difference. Ever since I started commenting in the last like 2 weeks, my engagement has been up. Mm-hmm. So going through and just liking, I don't know if it's because people notice that more or if it's the algorithm or whatever. I have no idea, but my engagement is definitely up.
From what I'm hearing, social media, Instagram, they want you to be social. And
yeah.
So from what I'm hearing in all the groups that I'm in, it is an algorithm thing. If you're liking and you're commenting more than just an emoji or, you're DMing them, they're automatically pushing your stuff up for them because they're thinking that you're friends. So it's not just enough to go like their 3 most recent pictures. It's try to genuinely comment on one of them and then keep going. Sorry if I just cut out there, but.
You did a little bit. That's okay. But anyway, so this one girl, I was commenting on her stuff and liking her stuff. So then she started following me. I've invited her once to boot camps and now I've invited her to coaching, but she's still watching my stuff. So I think it's planting that seed. And then I think Mackenzie talked the other day about just gaining that trust from them.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping, because I think she would be really good I think she would fit well. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of hoping like I'll draw her in eventually. It's just a matter of, it's a game.
It's the power of consistency. Like you show up every single day with your workouts. You show up talking about your day, talking about your dog, talking about your shakes, like every single day. So it's good because like they're coming to your page and they're seeing that every single day. Like you're not letting them down because now they're watching you. So I wanted to say before I forget, so your piece of paper, this just made me think of like a little tip. Instagram collections. Thumbs up if we're familiar with them. Okay. So I got like, I think Haley was just nodding her head. Um, so when you go to a picture, okay, so like here's Danielle. Okay, she just posted this. All the way to the right, there's like a weird little flag.
Oh, yes. I know what you're
So
talking about.
if you hit that, so what I started doing is I started making monthly collections. You can do this either for your boot camp or you can do this if you think that they're a good coaching prospect. So I've been doing it for coaching. So like if I wanted to save Danielle, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. We totally vibe. I want to make sure that every week I'm engaging with her stuff. I'm going to hit that and I'm going to save to collection. And then I've made one called June. And I'm putting all my prospects in June. And like every Sunday, I go to that and I make sure that I engage on any of their stuff that they did throughout the week. And then in July, I'm going to make it. And at some point, if the conversation starts, whatever, I'm going to invite them. So that might be a good idea for you. Instead of like pen and paper for like some of those like your hot list people or things like that. So I'm more of a digital person. So that's just kind of like what's vibed with me.
Sure.
Yeah. So
I just been putting check marks next to the people.
I love
And
that.
I've gone through a few and decided, nah, I didn't like them as much, which is really rude. So I crossed them off.
That's so funny. Anything else that's on your guys' minds, hearts, thinking? And we've been talking not only to Nikki, but I've also been talking to Logan about presets. Don't worry too much about presets. Just play around with a couple filters and go with it. There's an app called Snapseed. Snapseed, I believe it's completely free. And you can alter, and they have like some filters on there. That's what I used for a really long time as well. I learned about that at Summit last year. But like, don't break your back to find like awesome presets or anything. Networking group in Lapeer ran by my sister-in-law. Thoughts on those? What do you mean networking group? Oh,
Sorry,
there you go.
trying to figure it out. So every month they do a networking group. She started in Emily City, but now she's moving to Lapeer because she had so many people come. So it's a whole bunch of girls getting together and talking about all their business and what they do and just getting the word out. Am I able to go and okay? Just
Yeah.
want to make sure. All right.
Yeah, it's rare that people go to like events in person for like Beachbody, but some people like will go to conventions and they'll like set up like a shop and have like Shakeology samples. Because you just signed up and you did not get Shakeology samples, because I'm coming home this weekend, I want to bring you some samples of like Energize and Shakeology, the packets. And then when you go, you could give those out to people. So that's always like a good idea to like switch up your Shakeology order the next month. I think I've said this before, from your bag to the packets for like giveaways for things like that. And also like the Energize instead of like the tub, if you have a lot, to switch up your next month to like the stick packets. But I'm going to set myself a reminder, Jordan, to pack that and we can meet up. I'm home Friday into Saturday. Cool. That is perfect. I know. I mean, I don't really advertise like what I do much at school, but a couple of my coworkers have found my Instagram, and one of my coworkers just signed up with me like 2 weeks ago. So I'm always just hesitant because it's just like teacher world, but the like word of mouth, especially to women who kind of know you or like in the same network of friends as you, you're more likely to get them to sign up with you because you already have that established trust and you don't have to build it like with an online stranger like on the internet. You guys are quiet tonight. I was like, oh, I didn't really have too much to chat about. The team call that Run Wild did on Tuesday was really, really good. They had a guest speaker. She's one of Kate Schultz's coaches. If you guys are familiar with her, she blew up in a year. She's like in the top 10 of the company. So she was one of her coaches, came and spoke. She's been coaching for a year and a half, quit her teaching job like a year in. And she was like a 3 or 5-star qualifying and had like all of her diamonds quit, and she dropped back down to diamond, and now she's like rebuilding. So her story's like very unique. But she had some bomb takeaways. I know Bonnie was on the call. She was great. So highly recommend if you're meal prepping, pop in your headphones, pull that call up, pull up the recording and listen to that. It was really good. Smile, you guys. It's almost the weekend. Yeah, it was a serious gut check call for sure. Building their following. So the way that I've been doing it, and I just talked about this the other night on our Diamond Mastermind call, is that I'm struggling. Like I'm struggling building my following since Instagram algorithms have been like wacky, I would say, for the last 3 to 4 months. There was a Kate Schultes call that she did, and I posted it a couple times, and I can always send it again. But a lot of it has to do with hashtags and consistent hashtags and watching like your business insights and figuring out like which hashtags work for you. So if your account is a business account, you can look at your insights and see how many views are coming from your hashtags. Sometimes I have some that are like 800 and I have some that are 80. And it's like, holy crap. Like, and it's just like views. It's not likes or anything. So hashtags are a really good way. And then, I mean, it's that liking, but it's also the commenting and messaging them like off of their stories. Like the more social that I am, the more people I have following me. But I actually like it's usually every single night before I go to bed, or if John and I are watching TV, that is my time to scroll. And one day I'll scroll and I'll just scroll and comment. The next day I will scroll all the way to the end of my stories, because all the way to the end are the people that I don't really interact with that much. And I'll start commenting on people's stories. Then the next day I'll go down a rabbit hole of friends of friends of friends and start following and commenting. Then the next day I'm back to scrolling my feed and commenting and liking those. So that's kind of been like my rhythm, but it's like the most unsexy, unfun part of this business, but we have to do it to get new eyes on our page. And then about once a month, I am still using the Cleaner app to clean out my followers for who's not following me. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in with how they've been growing their following, if it's any different than that.
I mean, I do all that stuff too. I don't use any extra third-party apps or anything. But I've noticed quite a few people, and I don't know if it's just the audience that I've been after or what, but some people, if you go to follow them, whether they're a private account or not, will follow you back. So sometimes it's just the simple act of following them that gets them engaged, because then they're like, oh, well, who the hell are you? And then they might see your page and see that you are some fitness person, or that you have a dog, or like, because I know a lot of people, I attract a lot of dog moms, I attract a lot of teachers, because that's my avenue. So I think sometimes just the act of simply following, and it's not the sexy part of the job.
Yeah. And I do not follow public accounts typically, unless I'm like, oh, like I really, really like this girl, probably like for a coach. But if she's public, I'll like her first 3 to 4, and I'll try to comment, or if she has a story, I'll try to engage. Private, just hit follow, and hopefully they'll follow me back. And if not, then I'll clean it out again, like once a month with the Cleaner app.
I also try to avoid, I'll do it whether they're public or private, but I avoid the people who have a lot of followers.
Yes.
Because then you kind of just get lost in the shuffle of things, and they don't pay attention to you as much. And you want eyes on your page. So I have learned that as pretty as their pages are and as cool as they seem, they're not necessarily going to be your yes that you're looking for, unfortunately.
I would like message somebody once, and this is like little me. And just because I've grown my following in 2.5 years to like 7,000, and they were like, wow, you actually messaged me back. I'm like, yeah, what do you think I am? And they're like, you have a lot of followers. I'm like, Oh, but you're right. Like I think like 3,000 is like my ultimate max. I typically don't like to go if they have like over 2,000 followers. I'm just like, nope, because it's usually what it is.
Yeah. And then
They're,
you get lost, like I said, you get lost in the shuffle, and that's
yeah,
just, you don't need that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, Haley, we kind of went down a rabbit hole. That kind of answer your question a little bit. We always go down rabbit holes.
I just realized I was muted, but yes.
Well, cool. And the BAT, if you guys are ever in doubt, you need to be filling out the BAT. That is the business activity tracker. It is required in our diamond group right now that you have to turn it in every week. It doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. It's just going to show you kind of where you're lacking. But if you follow this and you give it a month and you give it 2 months, in 3 and 4 months, you're going to be reaping the benefits. But these are all like, Beachbody just didn't make this stuff up. There used to be old ones and it used to be shit. Like it literally was like, pitch it. Like I don't even want it. This was developed by coaches and they had a test group of coaches try it out for a couple months before they like pushed it to the entire network. So just know that like this is like a tried and true method. And every call that I am on, every training that I listen to, all the top coaches bring this up, every single one. And everyone's like, oh, what's the secret sauce? Like patience and consistency. Those are like my 2 secret sauces, patience and consistency. But it's that. Those are all the activities that you need to be doing every single day to push your business forward, because it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I know I posted in the group the other day, give it a year. Give it a year. It's worth it. This is a patient business, but I mean, if you're willing to put in the work, it's absolutely rewarding financially, and it's been awesome. So I hope that helps a little bit. Anything else, friends? Thanks for hanging out. I know it wasn't super long. Didn't want to make it so long. I'm going to stop the recording.